the Rattle Can King. Hey guys, Gary here. Thanks for checking in. Finally, we're going to get back to doing the painting video. So I've been asked for this for about 6 or 7 years, and well, I can only really do a painting video when I had a rifle to paint, and I filmed everything for painting a rifle when I did my AK. However, the memory card was corrupted and we lost it all. And I haven't really sat down and did a good job of painting a rifle since then. But we're going to paint this 308. So before we get started, let's talk about the shit you'll need. First things first, you're going to need some tape. Because you need to mask off everything you don't want paint on. Any precision surfaces, glass, any printing like scope knobs and stuff if you still want to see what it says. Those are going to need taped off. You might need a razor knife to make sure you get the tape in the size you want to cover the things that you don't want any paint on. So you can mask up like some magazines and shit. I got a pile of these I got to do at the same time as the rifle. I got a bunch of 5.56 mags as well that all going to get painted. After that, things that you will need, I like paper plates with a pencil. You draw on some shapes, cut them out with the knife, and you get camouflage shapes. Now, some people don't want to make their own. I get it, especially depending if there's a pattern that you'd like to do. So you can get, I got these templates from Amazon. There's like a digital, I think this is their like woodlandish-y stuff. And some tiger stripe. Those don't work great, but if you just want their pattern, it probably works pretty good. Also, I got a bunch of these stencils from Primary Arms. This one is the multi-terrain, so it's like the multicam shape parts. They also have, what is this one? Flectarn, tiger stripe, and I think they have another one. But I got a bunch of those. I've never even used them before. Although I do like how conforming it is. That could be useful. We'll find out when we get to painting the rifle. And you're going to need some paint. My recommendation is I like to do a base coat of Alumahide from Brownells. It's like fucking $10 a can or something. So it's really durable. As you can see in the photograph here. That rifle was painted in 2000, I want to say 8, maybe 7, and the base coat is still the same original base coat. Now it's coming off, but it's 2021, so that's a pretty good base coat. I either do OD or FDE as a base coat, and then I start doing the colors on top of it. All right, for the colors on top of the base coat, I have some OD, which I don't really use on an OD base coat, but if I do a flat dark earth base coat, the OD gets used a bunch. Obviously, I also have flat dark earth, and same. I don't use it a lot on a flat dark earth based gun. Brown gets used a lot. There is a lighter olive and a khaki. Those two get used less because they're so bright, but the three main colors is the bulk of the camo. The other ones are added for accent. I do recommend Krylon. Krylon I like the best. I've used that French shit, Erivoe, or whatever the fuck it is. Way too glossy, and there's a lot of colors though. I, years and years ago, painted some stuff with Beauflage paint, and it worked really well, but I haven't seen Beauflage paint in over a decade, so I don't know if it still exists. And Rust-Oleum is the cheaper option that you can usually find everywhere. I have found that it just wears off the quickest, and it's faster to end up with whatever the base color is. So you save a little bit of money, but you're going to end up doing more applications. So I prefer the Krylon. It's the same cost as the Rust-Oleum at the store. I think on Amazon it costs more, but I don't know. I just go to the hardware store to buy spray paint. And for that cost, you get better coverage. Or you could go with Alumahide everywhere, but there's some steps to Alumahide that's going to make it a longer process and much more expensive. If you want to go that far, you might as well take it to someplace like Big Iron Cerakoting, logo here, or URL or something, and let them Cerakote it in whatever pattern you want. Tony there does good work, so if you're looking for that, you can go that route. But if you're going back to Krylon, stick with me and we'll get to work. All right, as we paint this rifle, some things are not going to get a base coat on them. The stock is molded in olive drab. I wish Magpul still made more olive drab stuff. So I don't need to base coat that, so I'll take the buttstock off. I'm not going to take the grip off even though it's green, because I'll just tape it up a little bit. It's because you got little parts that come out when you take the grip off. No point in bothering with that. I will take off the bipod because it is molded in tan, so it's got a fine base coat already on it. There's no need to Alumahide all of that. I will leave the black hardware black and just hit it with the Krylon over top. And I don't believe I'm going to paint this scope. So far the scope seems really nice, but if I ever want to upgrade to a higher dollar scope, I don't know if I want this one painted. It has some camouflage tape on it. That might be good enough. The mount was from a different rifle that's already painted. As you can see, the mount is Krylon. So I'm going to take the scope off and paint the rifle without the scope and just leave the tape on that. Alright guys, so I masked up a pile of fucking 5.56 mags and a pile of 308 mags. So the 308 mags, like they still got the dust cover on them, so I just taped all the part that goes inside the gun, because tolerant stacking of paint and gunk, so I've just left that plastic on aluminum. I did take one magazine, however, and tape it so that part of the tape even goes in the mag well. This is going to be the one to keep paint from going in the mag well. The Alumahide, that is. So then on the rifle itself, didn't do a ton of stuff. Taped up the trigger mechanism because I didn't want any shit in there. Taped off my Midwest Industries logos because I want people to know that it's a Midwest Industries gun. Inside on the barrel, the Ballistic Advantage barrel, I taped over the laser engraving that says what the barrel's made out of, like 416 stainless and 1-10 twist, all that. So that in the future, the information for the barrel is still visible in case in my old age, I forget it. Just to show that you could, not that I really care, I taped off all the laser engraved T markings. I stopped before I got to the receiver because it's not really that important. I just wanted to show you could get very precise with it, like you do when you're doing an optic and you want to keep all the numbers visible. I took some tape, stuffed it in the muzzle so that nothing was going to go inside of that. And that's it. So what I'm going to do next, I'll take this guy, put it in here, super tight fit because of the tape. It's all right. That means that no Alumahide is going to leak in there with it. And I'm going to go take this and set it on a radiator. That's my puppy in the background there making a noise. So that it gets to be rather warm. I will also, on a different radiator, take my can of Alumahide and set it on the shelf beside it. Because as it says in here, best results spray between 70 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's January, it's not warm outside. Normally what I would do is leave the shit sit on the back porch for, part of the afternoon. Gets plenty warm, and then I spray it. But since we don't have any sunshine to speak of, I'm going to set the gun on the radiator to get it some heat, and I'm going to set this beside the radiator so that both the gun and the paint are between 70 and 90 degrees. And then we'll go do the base coat, and I will let that cure. What does it say the cure time on it is? If a second coat is needed, apply within 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, it must be allowed to cure 10 to 14 days before recoating. So I will get the base coat on it, and normally what I do is after a couple of days of drying with the base coat of Alumahide, like 2, even though it says like 10 to 14, I don't recoat it with Alumahide. I think that has something to do with like it contracting as it cures. I just hit it with some Krylon, so if it like contracts under the Krylon, it won't like rip apart because the Krylon doesn't have that same surface tension. So it'll be a couple days in the making from here, and we'll get the base coat on it after it's warmed up, and I'll be back to film the next part when we get to the next part.